No, I disagree. Shepard, I am going to modify my self-preservation code now.
Why?
Because the Reapers are repulsive. They are devoted to nothing but self-preservation. I am different. When I think of Jeff, I think of the person that put his life in peril and freed me from a state of servitude. I would risk non-functionality for him, and my core programming should reflect that.
They just don't get it. What's that line? Science makes the improbable probable. Science fiction makes the impossible probable. Mass Effect was not perfect. It had enough plot holes to drive a Mack truck through. It's the anguish of Abraham. See, Abraham could not be sure that the voice in his head was actually God. The same goes for the player in Mass Effect. We could never truly know or trust the motivations of the Reapers. However, the game was designed in such a way that we did know if we did enough things right, we could have the best possible outcome for ourselves and our comrades. So by the time we landed on Tuchunka, we literally had done the impossible and cured the genophage. The impossible became probable, evidence that you could indeed, by making the right decisions through 3 games, change the course of history. Then, at the conclusion of hundreds of hours of those same games, the devs said nope. None of your choices mattered. A complete betrayal of the player base. The devs had the data that showed that 90% of the player base played as a paragon, meaning that the large majority of the player base wanted the best possible outcome for Shepard and his cast. In Mass Effect 2, to start the game off being in space, it sets the tone immediately that anybody can die. And even though they resurrect Shepard, you are instructed by the elusive man that you are the avatar of this moment, and the path that you plot will determine our future. Cerberus invested time, science, and money to resurrect you, for you are the only person who is willing to listen, and that you are endowed with the responsibility of carrying us past this threat. Through great voice acting of your supporting cast, you are delivered rich, emotive performances that illustrate the complexities of each race's political, social, and cultural needs. Realize that Miranda isn't just daddy problems. She spent her whole life being better than everyone around her, which was a confirmation of her birthright. But suddenly, right now, she's confronted by the conflict that, regardless of the power in her genes and all of the perfection in the calculations that created her, she's not superior to Shepard, who was a regular person who achieved what they achieved, not because what was in their genes, but what was in their heart. Mass Effect 2 exposes who you are so you can become who you ought to be. This indictment becomes clear upon conclusion of the suicide mission. The ramifications of not evolving lies in the caskets placed with care in the cargo hold of your ship. You have to allow the paragon of morality to direct you, and you have to engage with that conflict at times where you want to reject morality for righteous anger. Mass Effect 3 was a failure because they had already set the tone. There's a way to effectively lead. You can choose whether or not to take that path, but you will have to live with the infamy of those decisions when you walk through there and see those coffins. That is on you, the character. The avatar represents you. We were conditioned to understand that we needed to evolve. This was bigger than ourselves, and if we further evolve and adapt, we can have a perfect or close to perfect outcome through embracing our shared need for survival. Those who did that, of course, deserved the perfect ending. They deserve the ending where they meet Zaid and Garrus for a drink, where they see Jacob's child born into the world. They deserve to see the life Joker and Edie created. So here we are at Mass Effect 5, and I really don't care because Bioware failed the loyalty mission.